everyone. Welcome back to Drinking During Business Hours. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Sarah Halstead, comedian, actor, wino. And I got my beautiful hubby here with his new glasses.
My new glasses. Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Chassler, also actor, comedian, wino, and now the purveyor of some new Ray-Ban glasses.
Those look so awesome.
I think they're pretty sharp.
They're really sharp. They're new. You just got these.
Just got
You're
them.
getting used to them because they're very, very different from what you had.
Right.
It's amazing what new glasses can do.
They can make
right?
you look like you don't want to be recognized.
You have like that very studious, I don't know, like you could play a lawyer, you could play a lawyer, you could play a lawyer. It's just amazing.
You know what? The funny thing about these is you can't really tell unless the light hits them right, but they're actually multicolored.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that when I got them.
Yeah, they're fancy.
Because at the eyeglass place, the lights were all fluorescent, and I just thought they were just a cool-looking pair of Ray-Ban frames.
When you put them on, I knew those were the ones.
Yeah.
You kind of know.
And then the next day I looked at them and went, oh, they have colors. Even better.
Now, do they have colors because of what you're drinking?
They might.
Well, okay, let's talk about what you're drinking today.
Well, I accidentally, so our guest today, what we're drinking today are mocktails. Because our guest who we're going to have on doesn't drink. And
I'm so excited about him, by the way.
We are drinking the Molto Bene mocktails.
Which has become our favorite. It's a standard on the show. This is what we choose when our guests want mocktails.
And so I grabbed what I believed was 2 cans of the grapefruit spritz and 1 can of the ginger beer. But apparently the can of ginger beer I grabbed was not a can of ginger beer, but a can of THC-infused iced tea lemonade, an Arnold Palmer, basically.
With 10
milligrams of THC in it.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I did not do that on purpose.
All right.
No, because it takes a half hour for it to even kick in.
No,
so
they're awesome. This is like a new thing in the market.
The brand is Layup, and I know a person who works for the company.
We'll give her a shout out.
And a shout out to, really? I can?
Well, yeah, because she sent us this case. Yeah.
I guess I'm allowed to, right?
I think
Julia Vanninger.
I think she would like it.
Sent this to me.
Yeah.
The product is called Layup, and it's a THC-refused refreshment. And the cool thing about it is this whole thing is 2 servings, 24 calories per serving. So the whole can is only 50 calories.
Oh, I did have one. It was delicious.
It was delicious.
But I felt the effects.
You should do a half a can, 5 milligrams.
A half a can. All right.
If I use THC to go to sleep, I do about 25 milligrams.
Okay, so for you, that's nothing. But
right.
I don't normally do it. I
You're not
never
a
do.
THC user,
So I was very affected.
And you slept like a baby.
I did.
And it was delicious.
That's so true.
And it was delicious.
True. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool,
we have a very
cool guest.
We have a very cool guest with us this week.
I'm particularly excited because he has a very popular podcast.
Yes.
Very successful podcast.
Very successful.
And I find, I don't know about you, people who interview other people, because their focal point is on that other person, they remain mysterious. I think our guest today is rather mysterious.
Well, we're going to pry him open.
So I can't. Yeah, I wanna get to know this friend of ours,
right?
Because we get to finally get to know him over a few mics.
We had a very interesting. The way we met is a very interesting story, and but he is a dynamic comedian. And he is a podcaster in his own right, which we will talk about because there's a very funny stalking story that goes along with his podcast.
I want to hear it all.
Concerning him and one John Cusack. And we'll get into that in a minute. And
John Cusack, he stalks me too. Okay, yeah.
All right. And he's a friend, and I like him very much. And he's a very, very funny comedian in his own right.
Oh, my goodness. He's excellent.
Very
he's an
funny
excellent
comedian
comic.
in his own right, folks.
Keith Reza.
Oh, hey guys.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Sarah, I want you to know I've known Chassler for a long time. he purposely took that drink because he knew I was going to be on the
I
show.
think so.
I did it though.
I
like,
think he's like,
I really did.
And he's like, yeah, it takes 30 minutes for it to work or whatever. So now I'm like, you got to bore him for 30 minutes and then he's going to be like,
you want a little
But this
buzz.
is great, guys. Thank you guys so much for. I was kind of like mind playing Chassler too. I was like, hey man, I'm here. I texted him at like 5. He's like, oh, we're recording in a couple hours. I was like, oh, I thought you said we'd be done in a couple hours.
And then I screenshot our text and sent it to him, and he goes, I was joking.
He's messing with you. Yes. Always funny, even off the mic. He's funny.
Yeah.
Always funny.
Well, congratulations on the success of your podcast.
Reza
Which
Riff.
you both have been a guest
We have
on.
both
Right.
been on. Yeah. Even when we didn't know each other.
No, you
yeah.
are, yeah.
It was before we even met.
Yeah,
that
you've
had me
done
on.
it once. Chassler's done it, what, 3
Once.
times? 3 times?
Oh,
Once.
wow.
No, you've done it a couple times.
I think I've only done it once.
Can we
Oh.
Google this? I can swear.
You can go check your records, but I'm pretty sure
I'm
I've
gonna
only done it
screenshot
once.
this to you after this.
And I
episode.
had to go to, I'm trying to remember where we recorded it. And this was back when your partner was still with you.
Yeah, Alan Lee
When
passed
Alan was
away
right,
a couple
right.
years ago.
I'm sorry. I saw that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
everyone in my life dies. It's
You
so
have
weird.
had a lot of tragedy.
Yeah,
You
so-
have.
don't be surprised. You're 85. People are going to
I
die.
know. Yeah, I just turned
Keith is
85.
Keith is a young man,
But,
so it is. It's very odd.
So-
it just yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, but yeah. So you know.
So your podcast,
Well, okay.
you've done a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 500.
You've done a lot of episodes.
that is a lot of
And
episodes.
through all of these episodes, and you've had some really good guests on your show,
Yeah.
but through all of these episodes, the only thing you ever hear him say is, working on getting John Cusack. I'm working on getting John Cusack. I'm going to get John Cusack. You're like, that's his favorite actor.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because he's your
John
favorite.
Cusack is my hero.
He loves
so-
John Cusack, and it was always, I'm going to get John
Well,
Cusack.
why? I don't see why you can't get him. You've had huge guests on your show.
I've already had him.
He
Oh,
got
you
him
did.
finally.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did get him.
He got him
Okay,
just this
all
year.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like it was just
fantastic.
recently.
Yeah.
And he finally got him.
It took
Congratulations.
12 years.
How
yeah.
did it happen that you finally got him to be a guest on your show?
So,
Because we want him.
I mean, he's my best friend now. I can make that happen. But so you know, they say that stalking is bad. I'm here to tell you, it actually works.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, really? Oh, okay, excellent. So,
Oh, yeah.
but you got to do it in a funny, clever way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, what I did was I tweeted him once a week, like, you know, and then like 3 years go by. Then I tweet him every single day for a year. So then he sends me a DM, and that's a big mistake because I have Asperger's syndrome. So like I kind of over, you know. So then I'm in his DMs, not just his Twitter. I'm in his personal DMs, which is like email. So then I DM'd him once a week, right? And then it eventually came every single day. And then I became friends with his sister, Anne, who's a great actress and stuff. And I didn't tell Anne I had this huge obsession with her brother because I didn't want to ruin the friendship. And then somebody tweeted Anne like a cameo to get me for Christmas or something and saying I'm a huge Cusack fan. And then I think Anne kind of put in a good word because John's always been like, you know, like once every 100 emails, he'd say something, you know. But then he said, hey, man, let's do it. And we did it, and he said I was the best interview because he doesn't do interviews.
Right.
He's a very
Oh.
mysterious dude,
Mhm.
and I kind of like him because he's really funny, but I think he doesn't know he's funny. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know those type of people?
Yeah, it's a very
Yes,
attractive
we
quality.
have-
You know, it's like a woman who doesn't know she's good looking.
Yeah.
It's very grounded.
Yeah.
You know?
Same with a man. I think a humble, hubris
Right.
Yeah.
is a good thing.
So he's very dark and mysterious, and we did it, and he said it was the best interview, and he
Oh.
liked it so much he invited me to open up for him.
Wow.
So I did that, and I interviewed him twice, and then he wants to do it again. So like he wants to do my podcast whenever he does press.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like one of those
Congratulations.
amazing stories where, you know, I guess you just gotta accomplish your dreams no matter
Right.
what. Like no is not
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean no. It means not right now.
Right.
That's what I tell people.
That's what I always look.
Yeah.
And I always say, you don't ask, you don't get.
You don't
in
ask,
life,
you don't get.
especially this business, but in life.
Yeah.
It's not that people don't want to help or chip in, whatever. They're just not thinking about it.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to remind them, you know?
And
Yeah.
there is a little bit of that law of attraction or that, hippy dippy manifestation. I don't know.
What you put out into the universe is going to come back
but
to you.
I really believe
Absolutely.
that,
For sure,
and,
yeah.
100%.
And you wanted it and you focused and
Now they're
you're-
dating.
You're also
Exactly.
an optimist.
Like, well, the first thing I said to him when I did it, I was like, John, I just want you to know, thank you for dropping this restraining order for this. I really appreciate it. And he was like, wait, what?
Very
So
funny.
He just loved it like that.
That's very funny.
When did the episode drop?
January.
Okay, January.
Yeah.
So
and it's
everyone
actually one of the
listen.
top rated episodes, which is
Phenomenal.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the fan base knows because I talk about it a lot. So I
Right.
think like that was an episode everyone, even if you're not a Keith Reza fan, I think everyone listened to because a lot of people were like, "Hey, you're never gonna get them." You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, I'm gonna prove you guys
Right.
wrong.
People
you know?
suck.
Yeah.
And then
People
they
are
wait
such-
around, most of them, to go, nah, 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 nah.
Exactly.
And then there's the few that are like, well, let's hope he gets him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The optimist.
I know Chassler was one of the few that said, I hope he gets him, but I think secretly he's like, he's not going to.
No, I never think that. I
He is-
never think
he really
that.
is such an optimist.
I am a perpetual optimist.
And he really believes he's going to win the lotto. He really
He
believes
did win
it.
the lotto. He got
Well,
you.
thank
He has a
you.
great
He
stand-up
really,
career.
yeah, he
That's
believes.
winning the lotto with it's great because I cut little pieces of her off and pay bills with it.
Yeah. You know what? The funny thing about Chassler is this mofo, right? So we're big Knicks fans.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
During this Knicks
heard.
playoff run, I've been texting and calling him. This mofo doesn't call me back.
I don't want to jinx anything. People are coming at me, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to put any. I don't want to.
It was
I didn't.
everything
Oh,
to
dude,
him.
it was the best.
I
Wasn't it
know.
the best year
Was
ever? Oh my God.
everything.
Kidding me?
He
Oh,
cried harder than the day of our wedding.
Oh, man.
The moment I mean, that is it. It really was it was a big deal.
It was a very
a big deal to
It
every
was a
New Yorker.
huge deal.
Well, you know what makes the Knicks special, and they've always been like this. They've always been this type of team, even when they were like the bad boys of the NBA. They're a team that just doesn't give up, even when they're losing.
No way. We
You know
went
what I mean?
when we went. I say we as if I'm on the team.
Yeah, we're on the
But
team.
we're on the team. We play.
You're a part of the team.
Yes,
They
we
wouldn't have
are.
won if it weren't
Yeah.
for you two.
When
Exactly.
the Knicks went to the finals the last time, which was 1999-2000 season,
Sprewell.
and they played the San Antonio Spurs, who they just beat. And their center, the great Patrick Ewing, was hurt. And when the Knicks won the finals in 1973, their center at the time, the great Willis Reed was hurt and was not supposed to play. But Willis limped out onto that court
Yeah.
and played like he wasn't even injured, and the Knicks win the finals. So everybody was saying, Ewing's going to play. He's going to pull a Willis Reed. He's going to jump out on the court, and he's going to play, and we're going to win. And I was at Game 5
Were you
at
really?
Madison Square
Whoa.
Garden, and I watched the Knicks lose
Oh,
And you cried
to
then
the
too.
San Antonio Spurs in 5 games, and I never got over it.
Yeah.
I've never got over Reggie Miller either.
well, thank God you didn't go to any games this year.
No.
because that could have.
I didn't wanna jinx
I
anything.
would really worry.
I
about
didn't
your
want to
health.
jinx anything, but the Knicks, you know,
Now, why are you such a huge Knicks fan, Keith?
Just kind of like what I said. They kind of just don't stop and they're underdogs. And like I'm a huge Brunson fan.
Me too.
I know people are saying just because he won. No, when they signed him, I was like, that's the best sign.
I thought so too.
like that is like, why do we want Kemba Walker?
No,
You know what I mean?
Jalen Brunson was the move. And by the way, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Every season he's been on the Knicks, he's been a standout player.
Playoffs.
Standout player.
And like, dude, I'm also a huge Julius Randle fan. So I don't know if I would have traded for Cat because I think they still could have won with Randall.
I like Julius Randle.
Yeah,
I did.
I'm happy that he's with the Nets now
Right.
because that's kind of like, he's across the street.
Well,
If he gets
everything they
tired of
did-
Brooklyn, he can just, take the subway, get on the F train.
Be like, hey guys, remember me?
Yeah.
Everything was the magic sauce, everything that they did. And I'm happy for you both. I'm happy for every New
thank you.
Yorker.
It was very
and
exciting.
New York City needed this.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
They did.
I think the world needed
the
it.
world needed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. But, they are underdogs. I was going to say that in the 99-2000 season, they were the first team ever in the history of the NBA who were seeded last in the postseason. The Knicks were seeded 8th in the postseason to battle back and make it to the finals. They should have never seen the finals that year.
And that was when the first round was best of
Best
of 5
of 5.
Yeah, so it was a lot harder.
It was much harder, yeah.
So
I had no idea that you went so far back in stand-up because you're so young.
oh yeah, I
You've been
started when I was 15.
Wow.
Yeah, I've only been good for about, I would say 7 years, 8 years. But yeah, I mean, I met Chassler through stand up. After, it's a funny story because at first we did
not like each other.
Really?
Oh
It was
my
some
God.
gig downtown LA, I remember.
Well,
Well,
there you go. Downtown's so strange.
I bombed miserably. And I was supposed to do 20 minutes. And in my defense, there's only like 4 people.
It was
that's
terrible.
tough.
It
That
was
is-
so
Those
terrible.
are the hardest
Yeah.
shows.
And so I'm bombing, and I was like, I can't do 20 minutes. So I did, I don't know, like 7. And then Chassler, in Chassler's defense, he's like drunk. You know what I mean? So I don't know what.
That's your
I didn't know
defense.
that. I don't remember this, but okay.
Had
So
too many glasses
he's-
of wine.
So his whole set, he's just ramming me, like
Oh,
saying some
no.
stuff. And then after the show, I went up to him, like I didn't because usually when I get in fights with comics, I like kind of tweet them and I want to start a Twitter war for attention, but also like to make it public.
Yeah,
but
the
after
algorithm.
Yeah.
But after the show, I just went up to him and I was like, "Hey, man, I know you open up for Swartzen. I also open up for Norm, and they're buddies.
Norm
and,
Macdonald.
and what you did is just not professional because we're in the same circle."
Good
Even
for you.
though
And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
that was very mature of you.
So
Yeah.
Chassler apologized, and we
And then we became friends.
we actually became best friends.
Yeah.
So I think like that was really weird. You know what I mean? Because for 20 minutes I wanted to punch you. You know what
I
I
just
mean?
hope John Cusack doesn't hear that you have
Another
another
best friend.
Oh well, this is way before Cusack.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got
so you
dumped.
have-
I
you
got
go
dumped
through
for
the best
Cusack
friend
quickly.
stage.
Yeah, I mean,
Are
I
you
got
kidding?
dumped for Sarah.
Stages.
He got dumped for Cusack.
I got dumped by Keith Reza, just like John Cusack got
man.
dumped in Better Off Dead.
Oh,
Woo!
say anything.
I was going to say that was my favorite.
Say anything?
The radio
I don't
over
know.
the
I
head.
like $2.
Oh my God, the Gabriel.
Peter- in your
Peter
eyes.
Gabriel. Oh God! Every time I hear that song, I think of John
In your
Cusack
eyes.
in that
Oh.
scene.
Yeah.
Such a classic.
He lives with that. You know how many people have said to him, I love Peter Gabriel because of Say Anything?
Yeah, he doesn't even know who sang that song.
Right.
He's just like, because in the original movie it was a different song, you know what I mean? And then they just edited it. So,
Oh.
yeah. So
They
I
probably
did
couldn't
not know
clear.
that.
so he was like, yeah, I know it's in your eyes, but when that movie was popular, because he doesn't watch his movies, so he didn't really know, you know what I mean? But at least that's what he told
How
me.
did you meet Norm Macdonald?
Ooh, same thing, stalked. And
Wow, it always works. Okay.
yeah, so Norm was my favorite stand-up comedian of all time, and I'm not just saying that, like he really was. And I was very nonverbal growing up, so like I went to the Irvine Improv when I was 17, and I couldn't get in because you have to be 21 to get in. But do you remember the old Irvine where it was
Yeah.
by the Yard House and they had that side door
Before
where, like,
they moved to the location they're at now
so,
at
like,
the
you
Spectrum,
could kind
right?
of sneak into it if you timed it really right. You know what I mean? Like if an employee is like throwing trash or whatever, if you kind of so that's kind of what I did. And I watched
Wow.
Norm's set and it was phenomenal. And then I stayed for the second show and Norm I just went up to Norm And I didn't even say anything. I just asked him for an autograph, and he's like, "Hey, you don't talk much, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I want to be a comic." He's like, "Yeah." And then he signed my autograph, and he's like, "Come back next show." So I came back to the next show, and I went to the thing, and I was like, "Oh, Norm said I could go." And then Norm said, "Yeah." So, like, we just became buddies. And here's the thing that a lot of people, I don't have proof for this, but I kind of think, like, maybe this is why we connected. I feel Norm was on the spectrum. Like, I feel he definitely had Asperger's because he never judged me. And our humor was so, like, it was like one of those things where, like, we just clicked.
In sync.
And in sync. And, like, when I wrote for this show, I wasn't the best writer. I was probably the worst writer on staff, but I was the best writer writing in Norm's voice. So I think that's kind of why I stayed on. You know what I mean? Because, like, I can make a joke, a Norm Macdonald joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I learned comedy. He taught me everything I knew, too.
When he met you, do you think he knew you were a kid?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, because you had the kid look. You're what, 15 at this point? You were 15.
No, I was 17 or 18.
Oh, 17 or 18.
Yeah, I did mom and pop coffee shops when I was 15.
Okay, so you already had a little bit of, like, you've had a mic in your hand.
But I wasn't good. So,
Sure.
like, it wasn't like...
Because what are you going to talk about at 15?
Right.
Well, yeah, because also when you're very nonverbal, like, you go to speech therapy and stuff, like, the only thing you could talk about is being bullied because that was the only thing that I had. You know what I mean? So it was... I never even asked Norm to open up for him until, like, 10 years into our friendship because I wanted to be an okay enough comic so I wouldn't make myself look like an idiot. You know what I mean? So, like, the first few years whenever he was in town, I would just go and watch, and I'd write him little jokes, and sometimes he'd try it. If it doesn't work, he'd be like, "Oh, some dude in the back wrote that." You know what I mean? But Norm was great.
That wasn't even my joke. I didn't write that one.
Yeah.
How old were you when you were diagnosed with Asperger's?
13.
13. Yeah. Okay, that's kind of late,
March
right?
10th, 1999, and I know that date because that was the day the Lakers traded Eddie Jones, and Eddie Jones was my favorite player. This is when I started hating the Lakers because my family's very poor, you know what I mean? But I'm rich in character. Anyways, so
very much.
We got Laker tickets to go see Eddie Jones play for Christmas, and he got traded in March, and the game was in April. And I remember when they traded him, I just started crying, and my dad was like, "Oh, it's just autism, and we'll figure it out." I was like, and I was very, like, nonverbal, so I don't really, like, remember the exact words, but I was like, "E. Jones, no, here," you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be funny, but that's just how I talked. And so, like, it was the worst day of my life because of that. And then I became a Knicks fan, and Eddie Jones never played for the Knicks. So, like, I kind of just watched Eddie Jones play.
Right.
And then he would play the Knicks a lot because he was with the Hornets, and then he went to the Heat, which was a big revolver with the Knicks. But the Knicks were just, he was like the only good player against the Knicks.
Right.
In all the games that I saw. You know what I mean? So I thought it was kind of, he should have been a Knick.
I can't believe. I think there's a stat, that it came out a few years ago, that at the time the stat came out, there were more players playing in the NBA who had at one time
been a Knick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then how did you know to try stand up? I mean, were you a fan first? And
Yeah,
like,
I would watch
the
the Young Comedian special. They had Dennis Miller, Spade, Fred Stoller, this guy named Drake Sather, who I really loved.
I knew Drake.
Yeah, Drake was great.
Yeah.
And, and then Norm had a HBO One Night Stand, which I thought was I thought that was his funniest material compared to, because not a lot of people saw it. So, like, it was kind of more special. You know what I mean? I think that's what makes a special special.
That's why they call them specials these days, because nobody sees them.
Exactly. That's why, I'm working on my new special that no one saw my first one, and my first one was great, And I like the material I have for this one, but it's more, because my first one was about being on the spectrum. This one's more like being on the spectrum and knowing things about history that a lot of people don't know. So it's a little political, but it's not like political where you see what side I'm on. And that's very dangerous as a comic because, you know, the country's always torn in half. You know what I mean?
Very much
So
right
like,
now divided.
Like it's like one of the things I talk about is like they say that like I hate it when people say Trump is the worst president in U.S. history because that's not true. The worst president in U.S. history was the 9th president. His name was William Henry Harrison.
Right.
And he was so bad because he was only president for 30 days. So he accomplished nothing but pneumonia. And, you know, it's like I go into like all these jokes. And so it's very clever, but it's also, it bombs a lot because if you're doing it in front of a political city like Huntington Beach, that's like hardcore Republican.
Right.
They're like, ooh, Trump's the greatest. And he's really not the greatest. If we're being honest, his first term he was good. His second term he's considered really bad. So it's kind of like that. And, you know, when you have a history degree and stuff, you kind of know these things and the average people don't. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I just find it fascinating. So we live in like that. So I kind of like to write jokes about that aspect. And then I write jokes about how I got robbed and all that stuff. And I just try and make it more where the first special was, oh, I have autism. This special was like, I'm too smart to have this stuff happen to me.
Right.
And I'm still letting it happen to me. Does that make sense?
Well, it's pensive. That's
Exactly.
fun.
Yeah.
And you are cerebral. I've seen you perform several times.
Yeah.
And your first special, where is it distributed? Who?
It's on Mad Records.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still around anymore.
So are you on Sirius or?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's on YouTube for sure.
Okay.
But it was released on Mad Records, and they released a couple of specials. This is what happened. So like they were, they filmed a whole bunch of specials, and this is like right before COVID. COVID happened, and then this like right when they were like, oh, let's not watch comedy because we don't know if we're gonna die. Let's catch up on Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? So like, because the first 2 months everyone was binge watching shows.
Right.
If you notice that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
comedy was dead, and then by the 3rd, 4th month, everybody started watching comedy like online and stuff. So my special just got lost into whenever it was.
The
you know.
ether.
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Make It Happen.
Make It Happen. I love watching older specials and not doing a comparison to their fresh special or their newer special, but just kind of seeing where they were then versus now.
Yeah.
I find it to be really fun.
Well, here's the thing that I've noticed, and you know, Chassler knows this. I take comedy as a sport. Like I'm very competitive with comedy. Like I always want to be the funniest one on the show. I don't necessarily want to be the nicest guy. You know what I mean? So when I'm bomb, I'm like, I'm terrible. So like when you record your sets and you watch your sets, I can't watch them because it's like I'm very narcissistic like that. Like I'll never be as good as I was on my special. So when I'm working on my new special, I have a feeling it's not going to be as good as my first special, but it's going to be in a different beauty. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, you and I have had this conversation before about you always wanting to be the funniest guy on the show.
Yeah.
And then you get upset
When I'm not.
when you're not, or if you hear somebody tell another comic on the show, you were the funniest guy tonight, that utzes you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I know, but we've had this conversation before, and I really want you to get past that, because if there's 100 people in the room and there's 7 comics on the show, each comic is only going to appeal to a specific amount of people in the room. You know, if there's 100 people and you can get 80 of them laughing, then that's a good night.
Yeah, but it's also a form of narcissism I have.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? And I think that, because I'm a pretty secure person that I can admit, you know, that. But I also believe that
I'm a really secure person that I can admit that I want to be the funniest guy on the show.
But
well, we all want to be our best as comics.
No, Keith wants to be the best in the room.
but that's how I was trained.
Right.
So like Norm, like Norm was great, but it wasn't all roses. There was a lot of thorns in it.
Sure.
And I'm sure Nick's been on you a couple times on how to do stuff. And
Nick rewrote a joke for me. Literally, it was literally just adding one little thing to the joke that changed the whole freaking joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
So did you like that, or were you like,
No, he's
yeah.
my friend. I don't care. No, I'm okay with it.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll tell you why. Because when I started there in 1986, and I was open micing for 2 years, 87, 88, there were not that many comics. So you would literally go up to a headliner, like in the back of the room, and say, like, how come that joke I keep doing doesn't work?
Right.
And they're like, I'm going to tell you, and they will give you the fix for it. So even to this day, that still kind of takes me back to then.
Right.
And even if it's a friend of mine.
You were also brought up in a different time of the comedy boom.
Right.
Boom. So
I was
Very
was
different.
in the boom.
So
yeah.
it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges in a way.
But I don't have a problem when someone says to me, "Hey, I got a fix for you on a joke," or I got a tag for you for that. Like, no, that doesn't irk me at all, because we're supposed to do that
What
for
about
each
you,
other.
Sarah? Does that irk you?
I hate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Because
Only,
it's like, I want to write my joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. Someone else's tag doesn't work in my voice.
Yeah.
It's very rare. I do have one tag that Felicia Michaels wrote for me that works very, very well.
Yeah.
And I've used it, and I really appreciate it. But she knew me well enough. She knew my voice well enough.
Yeah.
But if it's a stranger comic that I hardly know, I find it obnoxious.
You do a line I gave you,
But
especially since you're the one who probably broke it.
But you guys are married, so that doesn't...
Right? No, even
Yeah.
worse.
Oh.
Even worse. That's even a thicker line.
Really?
Yeah.
'Cause
We work together. We go on the road together. We co-headline with each
But
other.
you guys are also, like, not to get graphic, but you guys become one at times.
Yeah,
So,
but
We
we'll give
kiss
each other
our tongue.
notes. We'll give each other notes. Sometimes,
Yeah.
she'll say, like, that one joke, it doesn't always work, and you might want, but that's okay with me.
Yeah, no, and vice versa.
That's okay
and
with
yeah,
me.
you did give me that. Probably because you broke it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a wonderful tag.
But
you knew my voice.
it's in your voice.
Per
That's
your
the thing.
point.
Yeah.
So,
Right. It's in
I
your
don't,
voice.
But I would imagine like the stakes are a little higher when you're opening for someone with whom you're trying to impress, and they're
Right.
like your idol, and you don't want to hear, "Oh, try this."
Well, yeah, TJ, because I tour with TJ and Pablo Francisco right now.
Mhm.
TJ, he's kind of like that, where he'll try and tell me how to transform a joke, but TJ also doesn't care if I bomb. Like he said, like he's told me, because he took me in when Norm died, so he's like, I don't care. I just want you to get better at whatever you're trying to do. So if you bomb and you open for me, it's fine. I'll still vouch for you to be my opener, but I just want you to keep working how you're doing. So
That's generous.
Wonderful
so
freedom.
That's really generous.
So that where like Norm was different. Norm was like, you gotta kill, or you might not have a job next week.
Oh,
You know what I
shit.
mean? And like
I do.
Yeah.
So like it's very weird how I was brought into comedy. So
Mhm.
maybe that's why I have a lot of these issues. I also don't really believe in the open mic category, where like when people say, "Oh, they're open micers," I feel if you've ever done stand up, maybe you're not like a professional stand up, but you could say you've done stand up. And I
Yeah.
feel like open mic is kind of just kicking the puppy down.
Well, I don't know, because if you play baseball, but you're playing in the minor leagues,
You're still in the minor leagues,
but
right?
that's
still
the-
hitting a ball.
But that's being an open micer, being in the minors.
But you got
You gotta earn
minors
getting
or
up,
something. I don't
you
know.
know, but don't, if a guy's an open micer, it's because he hasn't got a lot of time under his belt, and the open mics
no.
are where he's
I-
supposed to be performing. And
I 100% agree with that. I do agree that we need the open mics. I just don't like the term open mic.
oh,
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
what do you prefer, newbie?
Maybe newbie's better.
Newbie,
You know?
yeah.
I
Or-
say aspiring
micer.
comedian. That's my thing. I
Yeah,
like to say
maybe
aspiring comedian.
That's a lot nicer than open mic.
It is.
You know.
It has become crass.
And but
That's what I was trying
it's
to
a
say.
crass,
Like,
kind of
yeah.
disrespectful term.
I say it like that though because, and I don't mean to sound crass, they're not comedians yet.
No, yeah. Aspiring comic is probably a
So
lot nicer than an open
I say
mic.
I
aspiring.
agree. I never
comic,
really thought of it,
you know,
but I agree with that.
Yeah, because
And-
like whenever people say, "Ooh, you're an open micer," it's like effing Google me. You know, I'm trying not to curse.
No,
You can curse.
Say fuck.
Fucking
Okay.
Google
Okay,
me. You know what I mean?
Oh man, he said Google.
Corey's uploading it, and she writes explicit on
Right.
our.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Shout out to Corey Fry.
Corey's great.
Yeah, she is
We
the
love
best. Our
Corey.
producer,
Corey's
Corey
great.
Fry. So, yeah, you know, I think open micers. You know, I was an open micer, I guess, for a long, long time, even when I was performing professionally. If I wanted to work out new stuff, because a lot of the time you don't want to do new material in the big clubs and you need a safe space.
Right.
And I was still signing up for Slotted at the Fourth Wall when I was like 5 years in, because I wanted to do new stuff.
But you guys do roads now. You know what I mean? So like it's a totally I've never really like I've done the open mics when I was like starting, but then I started touring. I got very lucky because I don't think you should start comedy until you're 21 or 22, so you're old enough to get in the clubs. So like I'm a little different, but I started touring with Norm when I was like 26, and you know I opened up for Slayton.
Right.
Like I have opened up for everybody in the world.
It's phenomenal.
And so I learned so much where I don't go to these open mics, not because I think I'm better, but I think open mics just aren't healthy for someone on my level. And I think that that's kind of like in a sweet way what you guys are saying is like it's just not the vibe, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because,
If it's an open mic, but they're gonna bring in somebody to close the show, for example.
yeah,
That's different. That's different.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're just going there to try stuff, you need to try stuff at shows. Maybe not the first show, but maybe the late show would be your open.
I
mic
agree.
or something.
Or if you've got a 10-minute set, do 3 minutes or 4 minutes, then do 2 new minutes, then close with another.
That's what I do.
Put it in the middle.
Yeah.
Then you can get away with it. Like at the Ice House. You're going to be at the Ice House. You got a 10-minute set. Put a couple new jokes in the middle. So you start big. The jokes may hit, they may not, but you're going to end big.
Yeah.
So that gives you an opportunity to work them out in a room full of people.
And see, like I was trained very different too, where like everyone says you should end great. You know what I mean?
Right.
Wanting them more. I was trained start great. You know what I mean? Because even if they love you from the beginning, they don't really care.
Show them who you are right away.
Right.
But what about you, Sarah? How do you
punch.
what do you do?
Jab.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Yo, I want to see. I want to see.
sucker punches
I want
are
you
the
to go
best.
out there, kid. I want to see punchlines, punchlines, dick joke,
Exactly.
punchline, dick joke.
Exactly.
But no, I really commend. I commend you and your work, and it's so impressive that you have opened for some of the biggest comedians and continue to do so, opening for the biggest comedians in the world, because it says a lot about your professionalism and disposition. It's a lot more. There's a lot more to the comedy business than being funny. As you know.
For sure. And that's a lot of people don't know the business side.
The business.
That's probably where the whole open micer thing kind of, because these guys don't know the business side. So maybe that's why they call them that. I don't know, but you know.
Well, you are great. I mean, and you are just not. And now with the whole podcasting host creator of Reza Riffs, look how huge that's become.
Yeah. It
And
took 12 years to get it to.
It did it. Okay, so
To get that damn Cusack
the,
guy.
but no, when did it pop? Because you're on a good trajectory here.
It's always been very cult followy. Because when I started, I was with Norm, so like hardcore Norm fans would listen and stuff. And then when Norm did it, I got like a lot of heat, you know, and stuff. And then Norm would help me get guests. So it's always, and also, you know, I started the podcast right when Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz was starting it, where they didn't really know what it was. So I'm not saying I'm an original podcaster. I'm saying Reza Riffs was definitely in the top. In the first 100 of them, because if we're being honest, Tom Green was the very first podcaster.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think you were very early podcaster.
I started in 2016.
Yeah, but like,
So,
I mean, so like, I would say Tom Green probably started in 2001. Maybe.
Oh, goodness.
So,
and I know Dean Del Rey
before,
and, of course, Mark Maron.
So
and
like, there was
and
that where the Godfathers, but then like in 2009, that's when podcasts started to, and then by 2013, everyone had a podcast.
Yes.
So I started it in 2011-ish.
Okay.
So it's, I got in, but that's why it keeps going, because I just have such that reputation of getting good guests. And that's what it is about. It's not really about funny. I always thought podcasts should be about interesting.
Right. That's what they should be.
Yeah.
And comics, a lot of the time, make the worst interview guests.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but you're great. No, you're great. But when I used to do my video podcast from the John Lovitz Club, The Grapes of Laugh, I noticed that the comedians I would have on would be hard interviews because they want to be on and they want to be me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, first of all, this is my show. I'm interviewing you. This is not a stand-up stage.
Right.
And so they all kind of turn into Martin Short on the panel.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
And I got a piece of advice from radio disc jockey legend Fraser Smith.
Oh, I love
who said to me, he goes, look, man, I've been interviewing people for 40 years on the radio. I'm going to tell you right now, comics will always be the hardest interview because they want to run the interview.
I agree, but I also would argue comics are probably the best interviewers.
A lot of them are very good at it.
Because if you look at it, we're like, Larry King, for example, I thought Larry King was the best of the best, but a lot of people don't realize he started as a stand-up.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You did not know that. Wow.
So, was he funny?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Not funny enough to keep going.
I can actually see him now as a stand-up.
Yeah. So, and then a lot of people, we're getting political, but Rosie O'Donnell, I think, was a great interviewer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because she was a comic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
So, I kind of and then when you listen to the White House stuff, they're not good interviewers because they don't do comedy. They're so serious. And I think maybe if, you have Jimmy Kimmel or, like a comic.
That's a great point.
A comic who's done it and not making jokes or what, but just actually interviewing, it would be a totally different story. Like Jimmy Fallon, I think is great, I don't really like the jokes, but I like his interviews.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. When he first started, he was not. He grew into that job and got good on the air.
He's great.
He's great now. But when he first started, it was really.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
And I will always be a fan of Roseanne, regardless of political, just extracting that out of the equation. She is a legendary, she's just a phenomenon.
She would be a great interviewer.
She is just a fucking force. I would love to see her as an interviewer, and I loved her on Last Comic Standing as a judge.
Oh, yeah. She was probably the best judge.
She was nurturing. She was so her communication to the comics and that maternal. She's very maternal. I mean, she was Roseanne. So, that's interesting about and that's why you're so great at interviewing.
Well, thank you.
I mean,
I don't
the
think
numbers
I'm great.
prove
I
it.
think I'm okay, but I appreciate that.
No, your interviews are good. They're insightful, and you ask good questions.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I love you guys. You guys are.
We're figuring it out.
We are. No, we're lucky because we have a good team, which helps. We have some of the same team.
As I was telling Chassler, are we good on time?
I'm checking. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Well, we started later, so we can go a little late.
So I was checking out your interview with Hot, and I thought that was very good. And then I checked out your interview with John Cryer. So I thought
fun.
I thought you were very, very good.
Thank you.
That's just kind of what I'm saying is comics I feel are the best interviewers. I mean, they might not be the best guests, but they're definitely
right.
I would definitely listen to a comic. I don't think Mark Maron is that funny, but I think he's a great interviewer.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a great interviewer.
Phenomenal interviewer.
I think I don't know why he stopped. He was the best.
20,000 episodes or something?
Yeah.
He's enough.
And he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very good actor.
He might just want to go into that category for a while.
But even
why not?
Even Joe Rogan, I don't agree with a lot of that stuff, but I think he's actually a decent interviewer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
It also
look,
depends on the guest if they're
Right.
vibing with him.
I mean, there's a reason he's so successful.
Yeah. So like I think that's what the point is like comics should be, if they could be hosts at Oscars and stuff, they could have their own talk shows. And I
Right.
think like
Yeah.
that's kind of like what we're missing in this world, where it's like we got to go back to the roots of stand up, because that is how you actually interview people.
Yeah.
I hope we go back to the roots.
Yeah.
I
do
hope
too.
we go back
Yeah.
to just live comedy and supporting comics live.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to Fraser Smith about interviewing, since you brought up Fraser Smith, and he told me the exact same thing. He's like, hey, I've interviewed 10,000s of people. Never interviewed John Cusack.
Hey, look at
No,
that.
it's true.
Look at that.
So it's kind of like that.
How about your upcoming shows and stuff? Anything you want to pitch?
So KeithReza.com is all my dates. I'm usually 80% of the time with TJ Miller.
Okay,
And then
great.
when Pablo's in California, I'm in with Pablo. Sometimes I'll do Arizona with him.
Congratulations.
And
And that's a fun market to perform, Arizona, the best rooms in
Oh
the
yeah.
country.
I think Vegas and Arizona are the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think way better than California. I just don't like the weather.
Right.
But like the
That is hot.
crowds. So I have a theory why, like, because you guys probably know in California, it's really hard to sell tickets right now.
Oh, goodness,
Ah.
yes.
But when you do the road, it's a lot easier because people think, ooh, Richard Chassler's, he might never come back to
Correct.
Arizona. We got to go see him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But in California,
You could-
he'll be there next week.
Oversaturated.
Of course.
Rated.
That's why, I mean, huge
Yes.
names in comedy aren't selling tickets in LA.
Yeah.
Right. It's really tough right now.
It's not special.
Right.
And it's kind of sad and depressing because it's like I don't want to do free shows. I want to, because I believe if you buy tickets to a show, you get more of the experience.
Yes.
I totally agree with
You know,
you.
It's not really about paying people. Like, of course, money is great, but I'd rather perform for 4 people who bought tickets than 100 people.
Because they now have an, when someone spends
That's a good point.
$25 on a ticket, as opposed to somebody who doesn't spend any money on the ticket, the guy who spent the $25 on the ticket is now invested in the show.
Right.
He's going to listen. He's going to care. They're going to be a good audience member. The guy who didn't pay, what does he got to lose? He
Exactly.
doesn't get, so throw me out. I didn't fucking pay to get in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can't really
it's a
throw
commitment.
out
It's a
free
commitment.
people, you know. So it's kind of like that, and so I think like that's why like I admire you guys so much, because I see you guys post. You guys are always on the road and stuff, and like I only go on the road when someone brings me. I
Right.
don't go by myself, so I find that very fascinating on you guys.
Well, why not though? Why don't you headline and bring an opener
I just don't
or
think
co-headline with someone?
I've thought about it. Like I love Rosie Tran. If I did do it, I'd probably do it with her. But
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of just like making people laugh and just doing comedy with my friends. Like TJ is one of my best friends,
Right.
Pablo. So it's kind of more fun doing it with your friends and bringing an opener. You gotta pay for them. You gotta put up with their
It's responsibility.
BS.
Yes.
And then they say, "Oh, how do you like this joke?" And you're like, whatever. You know? So
But
it's-
no, it's a different level
And
of
no,
pressure.
at your level, by the way, you don't have to pay. I've brought people on the road to open for me before, and I don't pay for their plane tickets, and I make sure they get a room from the club.
yeah.
But I'm not paying for anybody's plane
You're not
ticket.
babysitting
And that's why
anyone.
And
I
I'm not
don't open up
babysitting.
Yeah.
for Chassler,
You know.
because
Yeah, he's-
I need Daddy Warbucks.
Right,
He's not-
exactly.
He doesn't babysit. He doesn't
You
give
know,
a shit if you have dinner.
The beauty,
He'll be
the,
eating his
beauty,
ravioli in front of you in the green room.
the beautiful. That's a story. That's very autobiographical of you. No,
Someone
that's the
did that. It
beauty-
wasn't rich.
That's the beauty of
But-
opening for someone like when I was on the road for 5 years with Hedberg. Like Mitch paid for everything. When I was on the road with Swartzen, 4 years, Swartzen pays for everything. You know, but when they're at that level,
Right.
you know, they want to make it as good for you as an opener as they can.
Do we have time? Because I wanted to ask you one quick question.
Yes,
about
we
Mitchell.
do, and then we'll wrap.
Okay, so there's a comic, and he was in LA.
Oh no!
Can
I
we?
want to hear
should-
it. What?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So there's this comic in LA, and now he's in Texas, but he 100%. I don't stole Mitch's like look. Like he looks
His
exactly
entire persona and delivery.
We've talked about this before.
But here's the sad thing is he's more famous than all of us put together.
Oh, shit.
And it's disturbing.
That's disconcerting.
what
I
I
don't
mean?
like people ripping off.
I
or
had words
being-
with him online.
What was that like?
What was it like?
Yeah.
He defended himself. What
Yeah.
do you think he's going to do?
Yeah.
But he absolutely, because I still get people sending me do you see this guy? Oh my God, he totally ripped off Hedberg.
I think I showed you. Actually.
You were one of the people who absolutely.
Didn't Leslie Wolf bring him up? Was it Leslie? Someone,
yeah.
It was casting director or a booker. Someone called him out on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just find it, I think my point of bringing that up is how comedy's just totally changed because the audience members, like, I guess they just don't care and only comics do.
Well, Mitch died
in
April of 2005.
So audiences
21 years ago.
The younger ones.
So a lot of people going might not even know who Mitch is.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
And I think that's kind of like my biggest, we're talking about fears. That's probably my biggest fears because I don't want to be known as a Norm copycat, even though like I kind of sound like him. And
I don't think that
like,
at all.
That's kind of, it's two different levels because that guy's like 100% stealing.
He's 100% doing Mitch.
Yeah.
Doing it. He's even writing in the style.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know that. Like,
maybe Norm was imitating you.
No.
Isn't she the best?
This is
Isn't
why.
she
First of all,
the best?
But you
This
were
is why
best
you married
friends.
her.
Isn't she
You're on the road
best?
all the time. You were in the writer's room with him. And like you said, you had a lot of commonalities. And no, I don't think that anyone would think, by the way, that you are impersonating.
No, I was just saying that's my biggest fear. Where like, I don't know if this guy has.
I mean, it's not like you're going on stage going, yeah, all right, so, yeah, and, so.
Right.
He's terrible.
Whatever, my point is.
We got like a wrap up on this drinking podcast, but we should go longer,
Well, hey, thanks
What do
so
we got
much.
to lose?
It's
Thanks for
doing
being
norms, but
on,
my
and,
point is you're not doing that. This guy
And
is
everybody out there?
1,000% doing that.
Everybody listening, make sure you tune in to Norm Macdonald. We don't want his memory to.
So, Keith,
What's up?
where can people find you? Where can our listeners find you?
KeithReza.com or Instagram. I'm in Facebook jail. This guy, I posted on a pin, like I can't respond to DMs. This guy's been DMing me like crazy. I'm like, I just want to respond, read but I can't, right?
Right.
So I have like 20 messages from you. I've seen them, not ignoring you. I just can't respond.
I get it. Don't worry about it.
So if you want to DM me, Instagram.
I'll just text you. I have your phone number.
Yeah.
But now that I know that you're in Instagram jail, I didn't know you were a criminal.
Facebook jail. I'm in
Facebook jail,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's another podcast story because I was in Instagram.
He's a Facebook felon.
Wait, they just, they get
It's
they have a lot of
Right.
idiosyncrasies, and
It's
they're
funny.
controversial.
Right.
They
sad, but
they owe their creators money.
All right,
for sure.
so people can
Anyway.
find you at KeithReza.com or Keith Reza on Instagram.
or social media.
Or
Just-
on your social
I
media
just
is
can't
very good.
respond.
And Sarah?
I'm at Sarah Halstead on all socials.
And I'm at Rich Chassler on all socials, richardchassler.com. And let's give some thank yous.
Thank you, Doug Bass.
Thank you, Doug Bass and the Bass Hole Studios for having and producing us. Thank you, Corey Fry.
Thank you, Corey Fry. Thank you, Riedel Glassware.
Riedel Glassware,
Always top
always the best.
Always the best.
We drink
Nothing but
only out of
Riedel.
Riedel Glassware on Drinking During Business Hours. So thank you to Riedel.
Thank you, Bene.
And to Max Riedel.
Thank you,
And to Molto Benny. And to
Layup.
Julia Vaninger and Layup.
Thank you, Julia. And thank you, Keith Reza.
And thank you, Keith Reza, for being
Yeah,
here.
you're a wonderful guest.
I want to thank you guys for having me because no one has me as a guest. I'm the best guest.
You are
a
a
really
great
good
guest,
guest.
especially for
No,
a comedian.
you're a really good guest.
You're
Yeah.
great.
Well, thank you guys.
Well,
This was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, we loved having you.
Absolutely. Will you come back?
Congratulations.
Of course.
We'll find a time.
All right.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Drinking During Business Hours. We'll see you next week.